nerding out about now.
All right, Joe, this is your favorite category. You always have to go first. Go first, sir. Go first.
All right. So I partially picked this because I really liked it, but another motivator was because of our favorite game of guess what the anime is about based on the name. This is an anime called
is not Legend of Zelda?
Windbreaker.
All right, so here's how the game works. That's all you get. That's the title of the anime, and we have to guess what the anime is about from the title. So Windbreaker is going to be a teenage set of heroes who change politics of a foreign nation by using flags and sails. I don't know. I'm lost on this one. Windbreaker doesn't give me a whole lot to joke about. So
Windbreaker is about I like the teenager. I like teenager from another dimension who appears here in gaseous form and is able to, maybe he ghosts around or whatever, but Windbreaker.
I like it. See, this is why you get paid to be an improv comic, and I'm still doing it for free. Gotcha. All right, Joe. What is this? It's going to be dumb, isn't it? It's going to be so dumb.
So it is a bunch of teenagers. You're right on that one. So the main character has decided he wants to go to this school that is infamous for basically the entire school is full of delinquents. And the delinquents basically run the school. And he wants to go there and he wants to basically fight everyone and be the top delinquent. But he comes to find out, and this is in the first episode.
There could be only one. I don't know what.
Kinda. That's kind of what his plan is. But he finds out that his information about the school is slightly out of date. The school has actually the current top delinquent.
He says Windbreaker is about a gang that wears matching nylon coats.
Oh man. The current top delinquent has actually changed how the school operates, and they actually serve as protectors of their neighborhood now from other delinquents. So they're still kind of delinquents because they fight all the time, but they protect the neighborhood and they're respected in the neighborhood. It was actually really good. I liked it quite a bit.
It's the anime about the LA Kings.
Sure. I don't know the reference, but yeah.
A lot more don't know the reference. So the LA Kings is a street gang in LA that their whole thing is protect the neighborhood. Like you don't go into their neighborhood, and the police actually had a task force to work with them on that instead of trying to fight a gang war.
Are those the guys that wear the berets?
No, I think that's the something Angels in New York.
Something Angels, yeah.
But no, this was a straight street as big in the 80s and 90s. I'm not sure now how it does, but there was a documentary in the late 90s, early 2000s about the LA Street Kings, and it's an honest god gang, but they decided to protect their neighborhood as well as do crimes. I mean, they do crimes, but they protect their people. Yeah.
A little Robin Hood-esque.
Yeah. So now this came up. I don't know if I got this. Guardian. Thank you, Hugh. Guardian Angels in New York City. Yeah.
Boom, baby.
And by the way, haven't heard that. He also says the production on Success Freaks was awesome. He did a lot of the production on Success Freaks. Yeah.
Thanks, you.
Yeah. The check's still in the mail. Don't worry about it.
Leah says, I edited your book. Thank you, Leah. She did indeed.
The check is also in the mail. Don't worry about it. I am part of the spokesperson team for Dragon Con now. And so I go on the shows to talk officially about Dragon Con. And I went on a show called Surprise Book Attack. And they were actually talking about authors and different things they wanted to meet at Dragon Con at the time it was coming up. And one of them was the author of Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm like, I go to Amazon, like, what is this? Like, oh, and the way they talked about it, I was like, this sounds really cool. Then the guest of the digital media track, Stoner Gump, off of TikTok, came and he wanted to meet the author of Dungeon, who was there at Dragon Con.
Matt Dinneman, I think.
Yeah, that's it, Matt Dinneman. So he wanted to meet Matt Dinneman and get some books autographed. And I was like, wow, that's two people. And it sounds awesome. And then You're Nerding Out Tonight is number 3 Tell us about Dungeon Crawler
So,
Carl.
Dungeon Crawler Carl, I've been getting into. First of all, I love instead of reading books, which I do as well, but I love listening to books. I drive across country. It gives me, I'm able to do that. If I have to do menial tasks, it helps me with that. So I really been getting into lit RPG, which is basically somebody from our world into the world, and then suddenly you have a character sheet and you're leveling up your life. Your character is a life. And a buddy of mine from an act called Barely Balanced said, you gotta read this book, Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm like, I don't know, man. They're in a dungeon and they go through it. It doesn't sound expansive enough for me. It's amazing in that there's so many pop references. There's the voice acting that they do is just insane. I think the main guy's named Jeff Hayes. My favorite character is Princess Donut. And it just, if you want to try out an audiobook, I recommend it highly. Just for and so far they're like 6 or 7 books long, and they're getting bigger and bigger as they go. And the story is getting, every time they get into a new book, the dungeon changes. So you're not like, oh, we're doing this again. But to me, it's all about the voice acting and the pop references and the culture references and everything like that. So Dungeon Crawler Carl. Oh, in my experience with it, I was working at the Bristol Renaissance Fair, and this guy walks up with his friends, and one of my teammates pointed it out. I'm like, oh, Dungeon Crawler Carl, and his friends were like, no effing way, because they could not believe that somebody recognized it. He had the get up like he has, and I don't want to describe it because I don't want to spoil it for you, but it was pretty cool.
So how do we get you to be a voice in the audiobook? Carl.
Well, if
you do some really good voice acting.
There was a thing. If I had been able to, if I'd seen it sooner, you could have. He did I think a Kickstarter where you could have had a character for like, I think for $500 you could have been a character that dies. For $1,000 you could have been a character in the book that lives, that he would take something out of your life and put it in there. And I thought that would have been just awesome sauce.
Yeah.
But yeah, voice acting with them would be great. It's just amazing, some of the stuff they do. Yeah. So that's my nerding out for that.
I'm gonna have to try to get this audiobook because
it's on Audible.
Okay, I know how to get audiobooks.
There's no try, do or do not.
I know how it works. It's a matter of time in my life with following podcasts and everything else. I bought a great book called The Art of Peace, and it was written by another guy who translated the works of the master who invented jiu-jitsu, and it's still sitting in my car. I've read like the first chapter because I saw it.
You don't have time for a physical book. That's why I'm saying audio. And if you drive around at all.
Yeah, I drive an hour each way or one way every day to work. But I listen to podcasts at 2x speed. I'm just trying to consume media. I know. Stop that smile. Stop that knowing smile. By the way, everybody who was at Dragon Con or listened to our Dragon Con show, and I talked about, we did not Wise and Nerdy, but we did a panel called Wait, You Haven't Seen, which is another podcast, and we did the movie Borderlands. So I talked about how you drove all the way from whatever state you came from, got to my house, like, you haven't played Borderlands, and we went 45 minutes into town for you to buy me Borderlands to come back, and then I've been hooked ever since.
Yeah.
So, all right.
What'd you think of the movie?
It's all right. I love seeing Pandora. But I would have done some.
It's no Fallout. And I'm not a fan of the game. I tried to like Fallout, and I was like, I don't get it. I love Borderlands, but the TV show Fallout, brilliant TV.
I've heard that. I need to watch it. But Borderlands was directed and written by somebody who was not a fan of the game. The way I see it. So that's the way I saw it. I mean, it was fun, but it was not. Anyway,
there was no character development. It was all about. Just about here. Hey, look, here's stuff that's happening. I don't care. I don't care about the characters, and I love the game. So
100%. My nerding out about. I got a question first, Joe. I want to know how much Rising Impact paid you and Kelsey for your character acting in that show because you lied. It is not some mystical golf anime with golden clubs and knights of the round table. No, it is Joe's inner child running around going, I'm going to be the biggest hitter. And then Kelsey, the special ed teacher, comes across and goes, wow, he can really hit. Maybe I could teach him to stop eating burgers. And so I watched like 4 episodes, dude. I see why you like it. It is your inner child as the main character. So I just wondering. But as I went to find that show, I came across The Rising of the Shield Hero on Netflix, and I love it. It hits that itch.
I knew you would.
Yeah, it's that whole gamification of a real world scenario type of thing where you level up and you do different things. And in this specific case, it starts out with the main character that you follow, and he's in a bookstore and he's reading a book, and he's reading the legend of these heroes, the sword hero, the spear hero, the bow hero, and the shield hero. And it's like, wait, the shield hero's page is blank, and all of a sudden it glows and he gets drawn in to this world. And all 4 of those heroes had been summoned, and all of them had played these different video games from their different worlds. That was this world, but he never had. So then it becomes this really interesting twisted story of, all right, well, he's trying to be a part of the team. Is this real? Is it a game? How do I go back home? And he's in the other 3. It'd be like, Morning, you and I jumping into Borderlands and Joe jumping in with us, and Joe going, I don't know what's going on. And like, no, you got to reload. You got to get all these guns. You're going to do this and that. And it just follows, and it takes this really dark turn of almost like, well, I've been abandoned, and it's really good. It has that aspect of solo leveling and some aspects of My Hero Academia where you're learning some stuff and some innocence and some good connection. And a little bit of Demon Slayer in that aspect of not everybody gets along on the team. Yeah, I really like it.
Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Well, the first season is on Netflix.
Okay.
There's 2 more seasons.
You need to get hooked. After that, if you're hooked, you pay for it.
I mean, I'm on Crunchyroll for a reason. And the other one, if you get into anime, dude, check out Solo Leveling. That thing is just very
Solo
modern.
leveling?
Solo leveling.
So the first season came out
you will like
this year, and the second season is going to be coming out later this year. And that is a very rapid turnaround for anime, because more often than not, the second season is like 2 or 3 years down the line instead of that. But
yeah. But I knowing your style, the things that you enjoy, I think if you're going to enjoy any anime, it's either going to be the Rising of the Shield Hero or Solo Leveling.
Okay, I can check that out. They're like probably half-hour shows, right?
I think so.
Yeah, the episodes are.
I wouldn't know, because I literally put them on and just binge like 6 or 7 episodes. I have no idea how long they are because I just binge them. Now, you're also learning about one more thing. D&D 2024. What's all about?
2024. Well, I got 2 things that came in the mail today, and I'm a big fan of D&D Beyond. But today I got the Player's Handbook.
Is that the? I haven't looked at the artwork. Is that the alternate one, or is that the normal one?
This is probably the normal one.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I'm holding it up right because I.
If you're not sure, that I bet it is the normal one, because
it's probably the normal one. Yeah.
Apparently, there was a big to-do in the community about how they weren't even going to be able to fill like 15% of the pre-orders on the alternate cover, and the community was up in arms.
No, I don't know. But I've been enjoying playing D&D for a few years with some people on the road. I found a community here in Minnesota that since I've been here, I've been playing with here. I love setting up my characters on D&D Beyond, which is I have almost all the books on D&D Beyond. But I got that in the mail today. The other thing that came in the mail today, just to show the wide difference of everything, is something from AARP. I haven't opened it yet. I have no idea what it is, and so I thought I would just open it and see if I can.
Oh, we're unboxed live on the show.
Unboxed it live on the show. She don't have my knife with me, and I don't. So, oh my god!
Why you do that? Does Leah like D&D?
She plays.
So
I could not do this if she did not play.
I got you. So yeah, both of you start the Rising of the Shield Hero because it has a lot of D&D aspects that you'll recognize.
I've watched all of. Oh,
Wait,
both of
why did
them.
you get a? Why did you get a USB port?
Now,
A multi
now I can talk to my grandchildren and I can do the interwebs with them. It's great.
For the podcast, this is 5-port USB charging tower from AARP. That
not even not even a USB-C.
that's right. I saw USB A's, but it may it says AARP pre-branded
branding, baby. Branding.
I'm not gonna lie. It makes me want to sign up. I wouldn't mind getting that randomly.
That's what I got because I re-signed up for it. I'm that old, yeah. But you know, I was playing D&D since the early 80s, man. 80, 81 is when I started.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So what edition did you start with then?
I think I started with it was either Dungeons and Dragons or Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. So right along there. I'm not sure when Advanced actually hit. So it was old school. It wasn't the paper books though, the little thin ones that just came out in the early mid 70s. I wasn't doing it till about 80 or 81.
So guess who Joe got to be on a panel with this year?
Who?
Luke Gygax.
Oh, how was that?
It was good. It was actually a parenting panel. Parenting in the digital age.
Did he talk about how a lot of those spells were because those were his characters?
No,
like,
he didn't mention that at all.
Yeah, we knew was it like Melf's acid arrows, and there's all the different names for the different spells are actually characters that Gygax and his son and other people, they were wizards that they played, so they named the spells after them.
Wow,
nice.
that's awesome.
There's some nerding for you.